Okay, here we are. Set up for Wizard Kings. Wanted to show you some of the thematic elements here. As you can see, I use these bags to store. I don't know if you can't see inside there, can you? Anyway, I'll pour some of these out. I have 7 of these bags to store each of the different factions inside. So if you ever play in a group, everybody gets their own bag of stuff. Kind of looks cool, sort of treasury, right? There. So, next. I also have this bag of dice. This is a dice rolling game. So check it out. And there we go. Let's pick out some thematic dice here. And I need a little more light on the subject. There's probably a little too much. Got some glare there. Let's make it indirect. No, it's not going to work. Okay. So you see lighting's a very important part of making videos. Let's try this. Okay, that's better. So, you see some shadow being cast by me moving around back here. I just don't have an ideal studio situation. All right, so let's pick out some dice. We've got red and blue, so we need some red dice. 4 red dice should be enough. 4 blue dice. Should be a lot more than that, though. All right, so let me zoom in on this. Just wanted to give you sort of the theme here of this. And slide this over. You'll see I've got a turn record track here. And sort of a chart. You can see it. We'll zoom in on that. I got the rules here. Ready to go. So let's start this thing. I want to do this in several parts. I've got other projects I want to work on. I've been on Wizard Kings for a couple weeks now. So let's move on here. Okay. So we're going to start by initiative phase. In the first turn of this particular scenario, the Barbarians get the initiative. So, of course, we know how we set up these Amazons, but we've got them turned sideways here or backwards so that you actually can't see them. And I think this is a good opening move for these Barbarians here. What they can do is move across, move the Viking ship 1, 2, and come across that hex side. Move the Runica across here. Leave the spear maids there to be transported in on a spell. The Barbarians have a spell for this. Yes, the Horde spell. As you can see, I don't know if you can read that, allows them to transport a guy in during the combat phase. The rest of these Barbarians will move like this. We'll move the Cleric here, the Huskarl here, and the Spear Maid will go 1, 2. So that's the movement phase. Let's get into combat now. So we reveal Amazons can't move on turn 1. So what they have is a Bolin in there. Not so great, but as I mentioned before, the Bolin's going to be sacrificed. All right, so we're in the town here. Vikings are aquatic. The Runica goes first with an A+. He casts his spell and brings in the Spear Maid across the wall. And that's why did I have to do that? Because you can only bring in 1 unit across the wall, across that hex side. Now, the Bolin gets to shoot. So the Bolin rolls 1 die and a 2. There's the roll, a 2. Oh, they got a hit. And that's what the Spear Maid is for. So she takes that hit. And now it's going to be the Vikings' turn. They have a B2. They'll be attacking with B2. Missed. And now the Spear Maid will shoot with a C1. Oh, I shouldn't use Barb. Yeah, that's why I lost that. roll, I didn't use the correct dice. And there's a hit. That's what we needed. A 1 takes out the bowline. And that's the end of the combat there. Now, the next step of the combat, which is easy to forget, is the regrouping. Just to read this rule, regrouping. And see that rule here, 5.5. After a battle ends, the victor may regroup. This allows the victor to move any blocks from the victory hex to any adjacent friendly or neutral hexes. Hex side limits do not apply. That's really crucial. So what I can do now is use this to sneak units across the wall. What I can do is regroup by taking these units here. And because it's a city, it has an extra stacking limit. So I can put all 5 units in there. And so the barbarians have accomplished their first mission, which was essentially to take that city. Okay. After that, we have the build phase. So this is going to be an important phase for all units, but right now we don't have much to rebuild here. We've got for the Runica needs to rebuild 2 in Nico. Sorry, the other way around. And I did lose a Spear Maid 2 for that's a total of 3 builds. That's all the barbarians get. And now we'll take a look at what the Amazons have. Okay. Here, they have a strength 3 Amazon, so they'll build that up to 4. Here, it's a strength 2 Amazon, so they'll build that up to 3. Here, they have a level 1 Guardian, and it takes 2 to build him up, so I can only put some gold pieces there. Let's get that taken care of. I got to go find the gold chits. So here's a gold chit that goes in Tanga. Here, Farga. We had a Guardian and an Amazon, so Farga has 1, so it gets another chit. Okay, oh, and I had wiped out my castle. My castle was here for 2. And I'm also missing... she went flying. I got to go find her. Hold on. Got to get the Charmer. Okay, the Charmer's back in action. 2 gold points here. She goes up to 3. And the castle can't build. So 1 goes there. And that's the end of turn 1. We're going to move on to turn 2. All right, so on the turn chart, you'll see I've moved the turn markers to turn 2. And during the construction phase, the barbarians will be getting this reinforcement here. Can we focus in on this? Manticore at strength 3, plus some gold pieces. All right, but that's not until the production phase. Okay, so setting this back up. Here we go. First, we have to roll initiative. The initiative phase, I think we roll 2 dice, don't we? Higher total moves first. Okay, let's try it. 2 and 2. And look at that. The Amazons got a much needed initiative, so they'll be first. And put that block on top. So let's see, which of the Amazons do? Technically, they don't know what these barbarians are, but they basically do. Okay. They don't know what this is, but it doesn't matter. They're not going to do anything about it. So what should they do? Where's my camera rotating? Let's get that straightened out. Okay. So, well, what do you want to do, barbarians? I think we need to withdraw from this city. So we're going to take this Amazon. And she's got a movement of 2. She can go down this road to Fargo. We want to guard. We need to fight for that city. So we will do that. This Guardian's going to stay here. Maybe he can pick up that gold piece and let the Barbarians not have it. That would be ideal. One thing they might want to do is, do I want to sacrifice a piece in Tyrell? That might protect Tanga for a turn. Hate to do it, but I really can't let him just walk through there, so I'll put a Guardian up there, and that's my turn. Not much else to do. I really can't afford to try to attack him. Iron Gate's pretty well protected, so, and of course the Barbarians don't know exactly what's there. We should really stand these up and pretend that we don't know what's there. It's always the problem with this game. It's really hard to solo it effectively. Okay. Now it's the Barbarians' turn. So what are they going to do? Well, they need to take Tyrell. Either that or bypass it. It's not an ideal situation. I think if we try to be as aggressive as possible, we'll do something like this. We'll send the Viking out and through here. I've got the Runica, which will go into attack Farga, along with something else, probably the Spear Maid. All right. This Cleric and the Huskarl. I can't send anything more through the Farga Pass, although I think the flyer doesn't count towards Hexside limits. Let me verify that. Okay, so the Amazons decide the order of combat. They'll get this one out of the way first. So what do we have? So we've got a Guardian of the C2. The Vikings are a B2. Cleric is a C2. So first we will shoot with the Vikings. They're at a B2. Let's move the dice tray in a little closer here and see what happens. Oh, these Vikings aren't shooting very well. So the Guardian's a C2. It shoots next. And here it comes. Let's see how they do. No, just missed. And then the Cleric, he's not going to use a ritual spell. He will simply shoot. He's a C2. So here we go. And that's good enough. The Cleric takes out the Guardians. So they're destroyed. They can't be rebuilt. We put them on the dead pile. All right, so regrouping. Yeah, this is interesting. Oh, well, not sure I really want to regroup this at all. I'm just going to leave them there. All right, the main battle is here. And this is a fight, but all I have is Amazons. It's not very strong. The Runica, knowing that there's a bunch of Amazons in there, probably will cast one of these spells. Cry Havoc. Let's see. I can't seem to focus on that. There we go. Okay, 8d6, no targeting. Berserk, 2d6 targeting. So 8d6 at F1 sounds pretty good to me. We'll go ahead and spin down the Runica by 1 and shooting 8 dice here. I've got 5, 6, 7. Where's my 8th die? Oh, I got a black die out. That's not a blue die. Okay, so here we go. 8 at strength 1. And, ooh, pretty good. They got 2 hits, a little bit more than the expected amount. So that's 2 Amazon hits. Then, the next thing that can shoot are level Cs. Defender level Cs shoot first. So I've got 5 C1s. For the poor Amazons, they really need to do some damage here if they're going to have a chance. Let's see what they can do. absolutely horrid. Nothing. And so now the Huskarls will shoot at C2s. There's no city units in here, so that doesn't help us. C2s. Huskarls are no good. Spear Maids. C1s. And they also failed. So it's round 2. Runica realizes that these Amazons are going to get away, so she's going to shoot again with the Cry Havoc spell. 8 dice at F1. Seems to be the only unit doing any damage. Let's see how she does. Boom. Oh, look at this. She's definitely fighting for the Berserkers. It's going to kill an Amazon. Actually, that's not true. 1, 2, 3. And now the 2 Amazons can retreat, which they will do. Hopefully trying to fight another day. And Fargo is taken, including the 1 gold piece. I didn't use could have used, probably should have used one of my treasure markers instead for the Amazon, so it could have shot back. Next time I'll do that. So that's something to remember. I can use, anytime you get gold pieces, you could, if you have one in your, you have to have one. Let me go find it. Okay, so here's the silver counter. I'm just going to go ahead and play as if I'd put it in, that it didn't get a hit. Or I can even roll a hit retroactively. This is what you can do. You can cheat when you're playing solitaire. Didn't get a hit. But that'll let us retreat out of there and take the gold with us, because this is now put aside and the gold comes with us, which is quite nice. So it retreats there. And now these guys can regroup. They're not in any real danger here, so I think they'll just stay in Farga. They'll stay there. Okay. So now it's time for, that's all the combat, time for the build phase. Okay, just for fun, we'll just do the Amazons first. Doesn't really matter. So in Tarsus, the Charmer is built up to strength. Here I've got now 2 in Bredon. I can use that to level up this castle. I don't have anybody to build in the iron gates, so I'm going to put 1 there because I've already used my silver up. I'm going to spend the silver. I'm allowed to do that in the hex it's in to rebuild an Amazon point. And I suppose I am allowing that we can build other units. So if I have another Amazon, which I do, I'll build that in Iron Gate and put it in. Okay. So I'm trying to give these Amazons a chance of winning. Okay, I do have now 2 in Tanga. Guardsman costs 2. Guardian, sorry. Flip it up. So the Amazons have built up as much as they can. Going over to the Barbarians. So they only have 1 here. And their Runica can't rebuild. I think they thought they were going to get that treasure, but I cheated and faked her out. So the Runica is stuck at that level. Over here we got 3 steps in Nico. It can be built, and 1 in Tyrell. So the 3 in Nico, a Barbarian build with 3. Let's find something interesting to build. We'll just build Berserker. Berserker at 3 will be built. All right. Not really sure. Again, the scenario rules weren't clear on whether you could build units that weren't... Anything that's been eliminated can't be rebuilt, but it doesn't say you can't build new units out of the force pool. Didn't say you could, didn't say you couldn't. An example of why this is such a sandbox game is everybody's going to play it differently in the different little locations that they're located in. It's really a shame, in my opinion. Okay, so the Berserkers built. They'll build one of these here. Here they built one in anticipation of the Runica wanting to be rebuilt. And then they get their reinforcement. Their reinforcement is the Basilisk. Oh, it's a Manticore. Excuse me. So the Manticore comes in as a reinforcement here in Nico. Now, since it's only worth 4 times 3 is 12, I do get 8 gold points to be spent on something else. So I'm going to find that something else and build it. So let's just build a hero for 4. This might prove to be quite disadvantageous for the Amazons the way I've done these reinforcements. So I've got 4 more. I'll build 2 steps of another Huskarl and put that in. Stacking limit in a city is 5. So the Barbarians look like they have an overwhelming force at this point. And they really do, actually. This is going to be the peak of their turn, but they still have a ways to go to get to that castle. So turn 3 is now beginning. We roll for initiative. And 9 to 8. Okay, so this time the Berserkers, I keep calling the Barbarians Berserkers. The Barbarians get to move first. So what's going to happen is they'll be pinning some units. Now you notice that the road to Tanga is difficult to get to. Only 1 unit can cross. Not sure. So this is where, again, the aquatic Viking comes into its own sense of prowess, because it can go 1, 2, and come in from that side. Vikings, aquatic units are just great for this sort of problem, because as you can see, I've got to cross that bridge. It's only 1 unit can cross there. But now the Vikings make it 2. If I had a flyer, which I'm not going to use the Runica this turn for that, I need to rebuild her. She needs to be at full strength. So she won't be actively pursuing anything this turn. Here's where, if we look at the rules to confirm the nature of roads, basically, roads do not assist. They do provide appropriate blocks. Moving entirely along a road, the move is +1, and they don't need to stop for terrain. However, these roads are pretty clear terrain the whole way through. This means a unit of strength 3 is going to be able to go 1, 2, 3. And we know what's in there, just some Amazons. So let's send 1, 2, 3. These spear maids will go through. And we'll send the hero, or Huskarls, or the Manticores. Yeah, we'll send the Manticores up. 1, 2, 3. That's all I can get in there, but that does pin those units. Nobody can move in there. We put a die on there showing that it's the Barbarians that moved in. They'll be doing the combat. Okay, same for this one here. What do I want to cross over? Not really sure what's in there, but I have an idea. I have Berserker, Hero. I think I'll keep them there. I need to keep something back here, actually, to hold Nico. Can't really... I don't know if the Vikings don't want to do that on their own. I can send the clerics in. I'm a little worried here. I'm going to worry about the Amazons taking Nico. I really can't afford to lose it. I will get a reinforcement there, though. So... my instincts say to send the hero 1, 2, 3. He's also a city fighter, so that'll almost make it automatic that he attacks. Okay, we'll keep the cleric. Where shall I move the cleric? Now here's a question which I didn't answer before. Can the cleric rituals be used? It doesn't say these are movement phase. No, they can't be used. Now, one of the things I've got to worry about, though, is these Amazons. See, this is what makes this game fun. All right, so if I leave just this, will the Amazons try to counterattack to take Nico? You know, I'm concerned about that. Yeah, I really am going to have to leave the hero back here. Cleric shouldn't be garrisoning, really. So I'm going to leave the Runica here. Sort of paralyzed with fear here. If I leave Tyrell by itself, it'll revert back to Amazon control. I can't have that. Tough call. I don't have... Do I have a mountain unit here? The Huskarls are mountain units. They can cross a mountain hex side. Yeah, we'll send the Huskarls in from here. Leave these guys to defend in Fargo. Okay, so those are the attacks. Amazons repulsed. This might be time to do some C movement. We'll go ahead and C move 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the C move for those guys. Look at the C movement rules. Blocks can move up to 4 coastal, lake, river, or sea hexes. Must start in a friendly port and end at a friendly port. May not move past enemy hexes or cross hex sides. Impassable to aquatics. Let's make sure that's not happening. Interestingly, there's a discussion about whether aquatic units can use sea transport. Why not? It's a strategic move. I don't think there's an issue that makes any sense to worry about there. All right, so continuing here, the combat for turn 3. What else am I going to do? Question is, do I want to abandon Iron Gate and try to save that unit? Sea movement, port capacity is equal to the city CGP. Okay, now I can't transport more than 1 unit out of there. It's not a very good port, so that's as much as I can do. So they'll stay there and defend Iron Town. Okay, so let's do these fights. Barbarians decide what goes first in the combat phase. They will start here. So I've got a Guardian in there. Let's get that die out of there because we're fighting now. The Guardian is a C2. Huskarl's a C2. Once again, it's up to the Vikings to shoot first. So far, though, they haven't been very effective. Let's see what they can do. Come on, Vikings. Show us your mettle. And that is not how to show your mettle. All right, well, the Guardian. Now, notice that the Guardian is a mountain unit, so he could withdraw across the mountains if he wanted to. Except I think because the attacker came through on that side, you can't withdraw that way. I'll have to check those withdrawal rules to see if that's really the case. All right. But all that being said, Huskarl, was he only a strength 1 unit? That doesn't seem right. I'll probably have to go back and double check on that, so I'm going to have to start this combat again. So this is what happens when you mess around with these blocks. You kind of lose track on their strength if you're not careful. I know this Guardian here should be a 2, for example. So you really have to be careful with these blocks. So I'll go back and check that out. The Huskarl is actually at strength 4, not strength 1, so I'm redoing the battle, but we already know that the Vikings rolled that. So the Huskarls are a C2, but the Guardians are also a C2. They'll be shooting first. We have no city units. So let's see if the Huskarls can take somebody out. Oh, look at that. Double 2s. That's 2 hits. That's a hit on the Huskarl. And I really don't want to take a hit on the Vikings. So, yeah. Even though the Vikings aren't fighting very well. Now the Huskarls will seek revenge. They pull out their knives, their spears, whatever they have. And it didn't do anything. Okay, round 2. But I think they'll stick around to do some more damage if possible. But first, let's see if those Vikings have sharpened their spears. Here they go. And this time a little bit better. Well, at least a hit. That's their first hit ever. That leaves only one of these guys left. Do I want to retreat them? Just to be a nuisance. I think that's not a bad idea. I'll retreat them into the Farnwood. What's it called? Fargwood. All right, now it's regrouping time over here. I really want to start getting these Vikings closer and closer, so they're going to go there. Okay, hello. I'm back after a bit of a hiatus. I was getting too tired in the middle of the morning, in the middle of the night, really, to finish this properly. And this is the third take of this particular adjustment to the attack. As you can see, there's an attack left here at Anvil Point. And this is where we're going to make a quick adjustment and say, just for the sake of interest, that the Charmer, let me try to get that. Yes, there, it's in focus. The Charmer was going to make a move and attack in there as really just to perhaps blunt the attack, maybe save those Amazons. But this is just a surprise move. Actually, would normally be a risky move since the Amazons are in trouble. So they need to try this. They're going to give it a try. And it was a good move because what's in here, if you'll recall, is a Spearmaid plus the Manticores, which is a Chaos unit. And the Charmer is applauding her decision because she's going to be able to start off the attack. Now they're defending, but she's the person who gets to move first. She will cast the incredible Beguile spell. There it is. One target Chaos unit switches sides. Costs her 3, though, leaving only 1 step for her. So it's a dangerous step, dangerous spell to cast. She's going to really cast it at full strength and survive it. But the Manticore switches sides. Since the Manticore is now a B unit, it will be attacking first. With a B3, and all that's left now is the Spearmaids, which probably can't hold out against this assault. Let's see how well the Manticore does, as he's been stolen. And there we go. Not bad. It could have done better. That's one Spearmaid down. Now the Spearmaids will attack at a C1, and they'll be attacking. If they do get a hit, it'll have to happen on the Manticore. So that's what they'll be going for. But they failed barely to get a hit. And now I've got 3 Amazons attacking back. They're C1s. And here they go. Nothing. Well, it's round 2 now. The Manticore can attack. It's got a B3. The Charmer's first, but she's obviously not going to do anything. So here we go with the Manticore. Needs to do a better job this time. Still only 1 hit. These are a pair of 6s up here. I think they're lucky for them to be able to even escape with 2 guys left. They will retreat, go back into Farga. The Beguile spell kills this unit, and that's the end of that Chaos unit. In the regroup, there's really no reason to stick around for this. We'll regroup everybody into Tarsus. And that's the end of the attack. So it was a good move for the Charmer to do that, but now she's got to rebuild. Let's do that. The Amazons have 1 step up here at Iron Gate. They'll rebuild that. Not so sure that was starting at a... I think that was really starting at level 1 unit. It should be at 2 now. Down here, as I said, we need to go ahead and rebuild the Charmer. She's at step 2 now. But, as we all know, there were some reinforcements over here. That's right. So the Amazons had and it's worth 15. So they get 1 extra gold point in Tarsus. Sorry, no, they get 5, which they will use to rebuild Amazons. They had a 2-factor Amazon and a 1-factor Amazon. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So they've replenished their Amazons, and Tarsus is now loaded for bear. Quite nice. Okay, for the Barbarians, well, they're doing better and better. They do have 1 in Targa, which they get a 2nd one, and they'll use that to rebuild the Runica up to 3 levels. They also own Tanga. We've got a Huskarl in there, so they'll just put a 1-factor thing there. Here, they'll have 2 now in Terrell. Try that again. Up here, they get 3. In Nico, the Huskarl can go up by 1, or the Berserker. We'll send the Berserker up by 1. Okay, in addition, they will get their Spider unit. And the Spider is worth 15. So they'll get that plus 5 gold in here. With the 5 gold, they can build the Huskarl up 1 and the Berserker up to its max. So they got some good elite units in here now. And they'll have to see what they can do with them. So that will end the build phase. We'll be moving on to turn 4 from here.